Hi guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and I'm so excited to you because I get to announce something that I've been planning for a very long time. And that is a new series on my channel which is going to be called Read It Backwards. So my idea is to read some of my favourite series, and I'm going to reread them, but read them starting from the last book in the series and going all the way to the beginning. Why would you do that? First of all, it's going to be testing my memory to see how much of the books I remember and see if I can understand them if I read them backwards. I also want to try and look at things like plot and character development and just seeing how the author's writing style has changed starting from the last one to the first one. Do the books get better as they go along, or did they have a fantastic beginning and then kind of peter out at the end? I'm also going to be annotating my copies for the first time, and I just want to enjoy the experience but also talk about it with some of you. So I've chosen my favourite series, and the videos are going to include spoilers. It's going to be hard not to include spoilers seeing as I'm starting from the end and I'll be talking about them in a lot of detail. I am expecting those videos to be long, so just be prepared and be ready for that. I've decided that I want to do 3 rounds of this. The first round is going to be my favourite series, the second round is going to be series that I found mediocre, and the third round is going to be childhood favourite series, which will get very difficult seeing as I'll probably have less memory of them and reading them backwards will be chaotic. It has to be a series that I've read from beginning to end, and I'm just going to show you the first lot of series that I plan to do so that you know if you've read these books already you can probably watch these videos and enjoy them. I will probably be releasing one video a month. Let me talk about which series, and I'm going to start with the series I intend to read backwards first and then go to the ones that I'll be reading later down the line. So if you watch my TBR video you can probably guess that the first series I'm going to be reading backwards is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. I don't know if I'm going to do the short life of Britannia, but my plan is to read Breaking Dawn and Eclipse in June and then to read the next 2 in the next month and have the videos come out 1 a month, because if I do that I'll be finished with Twilight right before August starts, which is perfect because that's when Midnight Sun comes out and it'd be great to be able to compare the 2 in a video or something. So first of all I'm going to start with Twilight, and then we're going to be moving on to the Percy Jackson series. I think I read these when I was 13 or 14 and I have not reread this series since, so it'll be very interesting to see what I can remember, what comes to mind, and whether those books still hold up for me after all this time. Then we'll be moving on to the Raven Cycle, which is a series I think I will know immensely well. I will not be including Cool Down the Hawk in this, so it will definitely be from the Raven King to the Raven Boys, and I think it's going to be very interesting because I know that Maggie Stiefvater did a lot of foreshadowing that I probably missed the first time round. I have not reread this series since reading it, except for Lily Blue, which I reread once with somebody who was reading it for the first time. So even though it's a favourite series of mine of all time and I go on about it literally all the time, I've never reread it. Next we've got The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare, and that's one of the ones on this list that makes me the most anxious because I read it a very long time ago and I've heard that it's actually not that great if you read it when you're older, and I'll be reading it backwards, and the last book was my least favourite, so that's going to be an interesting read it backwards series. After that we've got the Lunar Chronicles, and I kind of messed up my reading of this series in the beginning because I binge read it and I'm not a huge binge reader, so by the time I got to Cress my enjoyment really wasn't there, but I absolutely adored Winter and I want to know if I'm going to like Cress more upon rereading the series backwards. Next we've got the Chaos Walking series by Patrick Ness. I absolutely love this series and I actually enjoyed really binge reading this series, so I read them very close together. I think it'll be interesting to read these ones backwards for the thematic reasons, and I'll talk about that more of course in that read it backwards. Then we've got the Gone series by Michael Grant, and I believe this is going to be one that less people have read, but I absolutely loved the Gone series when I was younger. I've reread that first book so many times. It's probably my most reread book since accepting Twilight, and I reread it mostly when I first read it, so it's been a couple of years and I have never reread the sequels in the series. It was such a good series. It just got better and better with each book, so I feel like it's going to get worse and worse with each reread, but we'll see when I reread the series. And then last but not least we've got Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman, which is again one of my favourite series of all time, but the one that sticks in my memory the most is the first book, and when I was watching the TV series adaptation recently this year I realised I don't remember as much as I think I do, so I'm looking forward to rereading those ones backwards, seeing if they hold up. I purposely put the Gone series and Noughts and Crosses at the end of this list because I don't own all the books in the series. I was reading those 2 series back when I was still using my library, so I only own like the first book and a few sequels that I wanted to get as soon as they came out. So there you have it. That is the concept for Read It Backwards, and we'll be starting this month with my Read It Backwards video for Breaking Dawn. I am so excited to get started. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll be curious to see what you guys make of the videos and how I end up formatting them and laying them out. So let me know in the comment section down below, if you had to reread one of your favourite series backwards, which one would you choose? Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a Read It Backwards video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards. Excelsior!